Hello, everyone, and welcome to CDIS 4200. This is all about clinical process. If you don't know, my name is Sarah Boyce, and I will be the instructor for this course. We will be going over the syllabus here in just a second, but I wanted to give you a little background information on myself. This is my third year teaching this course, Clinical Process. I also teach another course, Clinical Phonetics. It is a 9-week course along with speech and hearing science, and that is taught in the fall. Some of you may have had me this past fall, and I know some of you have not had me at all. So welcome everybody to the course. I'm really excited to get started. And I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The last winter I lived there, we had about 100 inches of snow before Christmas, and I don't like the cold or snow. So I decided to apply to graduate schools only in the South and decided to come to ETSU. So I'm actually an ETSU alum. I graduated from their master's program and actually had the fortune of being hired in as faculty to work on a research grant following graduate school. So I did a multitude of things at ETSU. I have worked on a research grant for young children with cleft palate. I have supervised graduate students in a number of different clinics, including the sensory feeding-based clinic, so the positive eating program at the NAVE Center, supervised students in some language clinics, and then a majority of my time while I was at ETSU was spent at the Johnson City Community Health Center. It is off campus right across from the Johnson City Medical Center. And it offers a variety of options and medical things for either people who are underinsured or don't have insurance. Things like radiology, speech, dental hygiene, primary care, just a lot of different services there. So I worked there for I believe around 5 years. And then this past summer, in addition to working there and seeing patients, I was supervising graduate students and then teaching these courses online. This past summer, my family and I made the decision to make a huge move for our family, and we actually now reside in Bradenton, Florida, just south of Tampa. So even though I am not in Tennessee anymore and not working full-time for the university, I am very happy that I'm still able to teach online. That's one of the great benefits of these online courses, that you get to be anywhere, and so do your instructors too. And so I was really excited that Dr. Lowe, the chair of the department, allowed me to continue teaching, even though I wasn't working full-time with ETSU anymore. So right now I work at a private pediatric clinic that offers speech, PT, OT, and mental health services to both English and Spanish-speaking patients. And then I teach this class in clinical phonetics online. So in addition to all of that, as far as work related, I am married. My husband and I have been married since 2012. And we have one son. His name is Liam. He just turned 3.5 around Thanksgiving time. So he will be 4 in just a few months, which is crazy. You will hear me talk a lot about him. I talk a lot about him in clinical phonetics as well, and you actually get to interpret a lot of his speech because he is a great subject, kind of because he has to, but it works out really well. So I love giving examples and scenarios from real life, from what I've seen in clinic, and classes, because I think it helps kind of solidify the information that you're learning in the text, in the PowerPoints, to kind of real life and how you could eventually apply it if this is a career path that you are looking at. So let's get started. I am going to go through this syllabus, and then at the end of this video, you'll hear a little bit of information about how I want to get to know all of you. So we are going to get started. You will see here with the syllabus, I only have my email as contact. I don't have, I don't have an office on campus because I'm about 12 hours south of campus. So instead, we're going to be doing some Zoom video chats once a month. They are not required. They are all voluntary, but it's a great time to be able to meet your classmates, to get more one-on-one time with your instructor, and to be able to ask questions. We'll do a little study session. Make sure you're understanding the material. If there's anything else that maybe you're not understanding, I can then add additional videos after we've had this kind of video chat. So I usually do it once a month. If you need it more than that, just let me know. Feel free to offer or suggest an additional time in the discussion board. In addition, if you have something that may be more personal, or you can't make it to the video chat, but you do have a lot of questions you'd rather chat with over video, we can always schedule a kind of private or individual session as well. So feel free to email me if you need that. Online response time. So I did mention I work as a full-time pediatric SLP. I am also supervising a SLPA, so an SLP assistant while I'm there, and I'm going to start supervising graduate students, an intern this summer. So I'm pretty busy during the day. When I have a break, when I am not being paid through my full-time job, I will absolutely check online, but know that I can't check it all the time. I will make sure to check every night. Or every 2 nights at the very latest. Sometimes my son is sick, so I don't get to check every night. But if you have a question, I ask that you post it on the discussion board. If you have a question, chances are someone else has the same question as well, or the information could benefit them. If you have a personal question about a grade, feel free to email me about that. You do not have to post that on the discussion board. If you have posted and you don't get a response in 2 days on the discussion board, feel free to email me just to make sure I didn't miss it. Sometimes we can get a lot of comments and a lot of questions, and I might have just scrolled through accidentally. Sometimes that happens. I'm human. I'll be the first to admit it. So just email me if I haven't gotten to your question after a day or two. Let me see. I do respond Monday through Friday. I may respond on the weekend, but just know that I may not as well. So Monday through Friday, you should be able to get a hold of me within 24 hours. And again, you can use the discussion board or email. I do want you to be checking at least every 2 to 3 days max. I would love it if you would check every 1 to 2 days, but I understand this is not your only course. So just make sure you're checking the news feed, checking to see when assignments are due. I highly recommend you printing off the syllabus page at the very end of this paper or document, so that you have a list of all of the due dates. You'll see here the required text is the Introduction to Clinical Methods in Communication Disorders. It is by Rhea Paul. Great book. Okay, it looks like this. The bookstore should have this. There's also a way you can rent a copy, I believe, online. If you would rather do a cheaper electronic copy instead, that's an option as well. Okay. And if anyone is still waiting on their book, because we are going to go through the information right away, will you please let me know, and I can post the first 2 chapters while you're waiting for that book if I need to. Okay. Your first assignment is a syllabus review confirmation. You will see the document under the syllabus module. I want you to sign it. It's an electronic signature. You don't have to print it off or anything. And submit it by Friday, this Friday, the 18th. All assignments are going to be due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the date specified on the syllabus. But they're all due 1 minute before midnight. Okay, just so we have no confusion, if it's 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. is very easy. So 11:59 p.m. I want to make sure that you're reviewing the syllabus, that you're watching this video. It is very helpful so you understand what the requirements are this semester for the course. You'll see the course description. Our goal is to go over a brief introduction, an overview of information necessary for you to acquire some clinical skills regarding interviewing skills, basic principles on assessment and intervention or treatment with children and adults that have communication disorders, information about counseling, how to incorporate evidence-based decision-making in your choices for assessments and intervention, as well as information on ethics, developing clinical questions, and being able to write goals for intervention. You'll see the ASHA standards and the objectives listed here. There are several of them. We want to be able to identify and understand the scope of practice for our field, identify and explain ethical principles, principles of assessment, different ways to collect data, identifying reliable and valid assessment tools. There's a lot of assessments out there, so how do you know which one to pick? We'll kind of go through that this semester. Performing an oral mechanism exam, you will have that as one of your assignments. Identifying treatment goals, excuse me, different principles of intervention, writing long and short-term goals, identifying treatment efficacy and generating a PICO question, and then identifying and formulating single subject designs for clinical research. So lots of stuff in there. Okay. Academic policies, participation. I do expect that you're highly engaged and you're participating in the course. I expect you're turning in assignments. You have the things that you need to be able to complete this course. For instance, you're going to need a computer, whether it's your computer or one you're using from the library. But you want to be able to access, obviously, your email account and D2L quite frequently. All right, there's information about academic misconduct as far as cheating, plagiarism. It is not allowed. It is prohibited. And please know, I unfortunately had to do this in the past. I don't like to do it, but you need to complete your own work. If it's group work, I'll let you know that. But otherwise, you need to make sure everything you're turning in is an individual effort, or I do have the right to either give you an F or a 0 on the assignment, or possibly in the course, and I don't want to ever do that. So please do your own work. The reason you have the assignments you do is it's directly going to benefit you coming up for graduate school. And so these are not just, I want you to do work to do work. All of these assignments I've picked because they are skills that you are going to need coming up very shortly. Okay, special needs policy. If you have any learning disabilities or physical disabilities, please let the Office of Students with Disabilities know and fill out the complete paperwork so that they can let me know and I can make the accommodations necessary in the course for you. Okay, ground rules. Make sure you're participating. Know how to use D2L. Keep up to date with announcements. Please use your university email. If you have technical problems, OIT is the primary contact. I am not going to be able to troubleshoot. I'm sorry. In case of exams, please make sure you have a safe internet connection and a good internet connection, because once you submit or not submit, that's it. There's no retakes. There's information about how to submit assignments, and I do want to just spend a quick second on some netiquette. Just remember, sometimes we don't always understand how to take someone's text because we don't have the facial expressions to go along with it. So please be careful on how you're wording things. You can use emojis, that's fine. Just be respectful in the way you're commenting on other people's posts. If it's already been asked before, let them know nicely, or refer them back to where they can find the information. I love when students help other students. So if someone has a question and I can't get to it, but you can and you know the answer, feel free. And then I'll just follow up, and when I get a second, I will let you know that yes, so-and-so was correct. This was the correct answer or what I was looking for. Make sure if you are emailing to always include a subject line with the course CDIS 4200, so I know it's coming from the course. It is very professional to address your professor with their name, so Professor Boyce or Mrs. Boyce is fine, and then sign your name at the end. I get that we're kind of in the time and age where we're writing emails from our phone. I am too. But just make sure to address someone and then add your name at the end. I know Dr. Lowe, the chair of the department, also really appreciates that. So if you do end up going to ETSU for graduate school, you'll already be ahead of the game in that sense. Let me see. Please use my email for personal questions or personal emergencies. If you have questions that just relate to the content of the course, it really is better to post that in the discussion board. Unless, of course, I've missed your question and you're just letting me know by emailing me. Okay, discussion groups. I've changed this a little bit. Just make sure that, in discussion boards that you are using this as the primary means for communication. You're thoughtful in your answers. You're not insulting, inflammatory comments, that kind of thing. Course requirements, all assignments and quizzes and final exams are due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Late assignments are not accepted. Late quizzes are not considered for grading in an emergency or unforeseen situation. I know things happen. Please email me to make other arrangements for the late assignments or quizzes. Things do come up. I do understand that. However, if you're emailing me and saying, I forgot, can I get extra credit? That's not going to work. If something comes up and you truly can't get the assignment done for a specific reason, please let me know and I will try to work with you. Okay. Your grade for this course is based on the total points you earn out of the total possible, even if you have not completed all the work. Okay, so if you looked at the syllabus earlier today, you will notice this has changed slightly. I have re-uploaded, so please get the new version that was just recently uploaded. Okay, so we will have 5 assignments, 1 quiz, 1 final exam. Each assignment is worth a different points scale, so I will show you below. The goal for the assignments is to show you, to give you an understanding of the basic clinical involvement and application within our scope of practice as an SLPA, as SLP or audiologist, sorry. So the rubrics and instructions will be given for each particular assignment. I don't have that on the syllabus, but you will get that closer to the time they are due. The first one is an article summary. This sounds really simple, but it's not always. You're going to get a research article. You may choose one of a few options, and I want you to summarize it, in your own words. I'll talk about the different parts I want you to summarize. The goal will be to make sure that you're talking about all the different parts of the article. the purpose of the article, the methods, their findings, and the clinical or theoretical application or implications. You want to make sure all 4 of those parts are in there or you will not get the full amount of points. And you want to make sure that you are typing enough to give me a gist of the article without typing word for word everything that's happening in the article. No longer than a page typed, it's 25 points. Oral mech exam, you will be conducting an oral mech exam on somebody else and reporting the findings in a 1-page type paper. That is worth 50 points. The assessment scoring assignment, you will be given a mock assessment score rubric or score sheet, in which you will be required to calculate raw scores and a standard score. And then you're going to analyze to determine if those scores mean that the mock patient has a disorder or not. And that is worth 50 points. A goal writing exercise, you're going to write both long and short-term goals regarding hypothetical clients. We'll have multiple to choose from. You will do 1 long-term and 2 short-term goals based on the client's area of need, and that will be worth 25 points. And then the last assignment will be a work settings and services flyer. This is new this semester. I've did it before previously in past semesters, well, part of it as extra credit, but I think it's a really good assignment. So I decided to actually make it required this semester. Students will be able to discuss different work settings for both speech pathologists and audiologists. So what type of settings you would find an SLP or audiologist in, and then what their job responsibilities are. One of the coolest things I think about our profession, both as audiologists or speech pathologists, is how many different places we get to work, how many different things we get to do in our job. You know, say I'm working with pediatrics and I'm working with articulation and language, and then I get bored and I decide, you know what, I want to learn more about swallowing. There's just so many different opportunities, both location of where to work and also what I'm working on. As an audiologist, same thing. We can be working on tinnitus. We can be working on, determining hearing loss, working in a school, working in a private practice, all of those types of things, helping to dispense hearing aids, etc. There's lots of different job opportunities. So I think it's a good way as you're, kind of getting ready for graduate school, so you have an idea to know what area you might be interested in, or did you know all of the areas that were even possible for this field? The next one is the quiz, and the quiz is online. It's worth 50 points. It's similar to a midterm. Please remember that once the quiz is available, you have 48 hours to take it. Once you start that quiz, though, there's no turning back. So you have a 48-hour period in which the quiz is available, but once you start the quiz, you must finish it. And once you turn the page, you can't go back. So there's a certain number of test items on the page. Same thing with the final exam. It'll be multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, short answer. And the information will be from your assigned readings, the lectures, and then any other associated online materials. The final exam will be cumulative. It will be worth 100 points. It'll be all of the semester material. I'll give you a study guide closer to the time. Internet glitches during assessments. Please make sure you have good internet connectivity. If something happens, your computer freezes or something, there's some information here. If you lose power, please email me immediately to let me know, and I'll get back with you within 24 hours to come up with an action plan. For grades, you will see the grading scale here, and then the course schedule. Each week is listed here. I have the Monday of each week, the topics covered, the readings, and then in the bold is going to be the actual assignment that is due, or the item that is due. So you'll see week 1, the week of the 14th. On the 18th, you have the syllabus review due, your article summary, the oral mech, the assessment scoring assignment. The quiz is right before spring break. I figured you guys would want to enjoy your spring break, so I hate doing it the week after. So there's a little bit kind of clustered together there, but I wanted to make sure you guys didn't have to do anything right after spring break, so you can enjoy your spring break. The goal writing assignment and the work setting services flyer, and then the final exam. You will notice that we are actually ending the week before finals week, so hopefully that will help anyone who has a lot of finals this semester. Okay, each of the chapters are listed here, and you will also see, I'll show you from my view. Oops, let's see. On your contents, you will see the chapters listed here along with the topics. So you will see chapter 2 begins January 21. You're not going to have access to that material until that day. So on the Monday of every week, your new topic listed here will be available. So on February 4, you will see oral mech exam. That module will open up and you'll be able to see the contents in that module. Okay. If you all have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. I'm really excited for this course. I hope you all are too. And don't forget, at the end, I told you I was going to let you in on a little bit of information on how I wanted you to introduce yourself. So for the introduction on the discussion board, I want you to let me know your name, also where you're from, or where you're living now, either is fine. And then give me some information about what makes you passionate about this field, either audiology or speech. Why are you interested in this field? What, gets that fire burning, makes you want to go to graduate school, or become an SLP? Like, what is interesting you so much in this field that you are thinking about pursuing this as a profession? I absolutely love, my very, very, very favorite thing is working with parents. I love doing parent education, and the best thing is when I can teach them a skill in the session and their child says a new word for the first time. That's my absolute favorite thing. I love, especially when it comes from the parent. So very easily, I could probably teach, the child different skills and do different things to get the child to say a first word, and that is so fun. But what is even more fun is giving the parent that same ability in that first session, or subsequent sessions. And then they're hooked. They realize she knows what she's doing. This is going to make a difference, and I need to keep coming back here, right? And so it helps with our show rates, just getting parents involved. Oftentimes that can be a dilemma that sometimes families are not as consistent as we would like. And one of the ways I think we can combat that is by getting them involved, getting them passionate about what you're passionate about, finding a way to relate to them. You want to work on comments, but dad wants you to work on the D sound because he's sick of his kids saying gag, gag, and backing those sounds instead of saying dad, dad. So that would be motivational to that dad. If you could help not only that child comment, but also be able to say the D sound. And so working with the parent to figure out what they're really interested in and then how we can bridge that gap so they are just as committed as you are to coming to that session. That's my favorite. So I'm excited to hear about what you're really passionate about, what makes you really interested in this field. And so in your introduction, please tell me your name, where you're from, and what makes you super passionate about this field. Okay? All right, I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys all have a wonderful a wonderful night, and I look forward to getting to know each of you over the course of this semester. Thank you so much.